welcome to the Graceful 40s Wellness channel. My name is Brandy and I'm here with another conversation. So I want to make sure that this channel includes faith, which is something that's really important for me. So I want to fuse in some thoughts I had about how God is helping me look and feel 10 years younger, coming from a place of trying to figure out like the fear of aging, how confidence can shift as we go through the aging phases or seasons of aging, and also like that feeling of, I don't know if it's like feeling ugly or not acceptable externally. I think that's what ugly actually means, is like you are not considered attractive outside of yourself, I think. Anyway, I wanted to look at these genres of thoughts that come up in the aging process. And some people totally don't even think about any of this stuff because they're already enjoying the experience. They're already treating it as a journey versus a destination. So all those things are great. But I wanted to share some things that I feel God has really helped me to understand, as I am currently 39. I will be 40 in the spring. So I don't know, I think in the last year or two, the process of aging has come to mind for me personally. And I've seen a lot of examples, and I think this may be different for women than for men. I think men have their own fears of aging, honestly. But I do think that women are maybe more communicative to talk about that. So over the last couple of years, the question has been, what do I want to do with this process of aging? Because ultimately, aging is a gift versus not aging, right? So like to continue to live is an actual gift from God. So how can I try to be more present in that? So that's been the question. Like one thing, obviously, or maybe not so obviously, is to take care of health. Like how do I want to take care of my health? Because how we take care of our health in our midlife kind of determines what our life will look like when we're 20 years ahead, like 60 or 80 or 90 or 100. How we take care of ourselves years before those, milestone ages matters for what that experience actually looks like. So one thing that I've been mindful of and still trying to find my rhythm, because when you turn 40, or I think after 37 more specifically, your metabolism starts to really shift. So like your process of weight management has to shift, your movement process has to shift, the way you eat and what you eat may have to shift unless you already have a pretty solid and healthy plan and like movement practice in place. So here's what God has been specifically helping me to better understand. And the first thing would be, number one, complacency. So gently moving away from the complacency and expected norms of aging. So the question of, what is it that I'm making fact about aging? So, as I speak with God and talk about like what my goals are for how I want to look and feel, the question is, what are the norms that I've already made up about what it means to age? What are the norms that people in society or media are offering to me for the aging process for someone who looks like me? Because I think that's pretty specific, but you could also say just for women or just for humans or however. But the point is, the message that I would say I hear or I've noticed the most is that aging is a place where women kind of become invisible, invisible woman syndrome. Aging is a place where there's loss, like you start to lose your hair, you start to lose your skin, like texture. You start to lose your health in different ways. You don't feel good. Like, those are the kind of things that I've heard from the place of complacency, is that you don't feel great and you will be uncomfortable and it's going to be hard and your body doesn't work the way it used to, and all the things that used to be easy won't maybe be so easy. So those are the things that I have learned and may have been a part of like the complacency normalization of what it means to age. So that might be in the background, but also I don't necessarily want to hold on to those things as fact, because that's not true across the board for everyone, which means it can at times also be a choice. There may be room for other events and opportunities other than just like, this is what it is, blanket statement. So that's one thing. The second thing is slowing down those conversations, the inner dialogue, the inner thoughts. Why am I believing what I think? Why are these thoughts there? Where do they come from? And I think a good example is like, I think in the past, our elders had received more respect than maybe they do today. I don't think culturally there's tons of respect for our elders, honestly. I don't see it as much as like maybe in the past. But all that to say, like, in the past, I can't say that I was even there for like what it was like to be around elders. I knew like my great-grandfather would tell me stories, and he seemed to be a pillar of the family before he passed away. I think, you know, for my great aunts and, you know, folks of that crowd, there would be some family members who would like dye their hair and that sort of thing. But a lot of my elders actually have really great skin. So that's really cool. So it's like, okay, maybe I'll fall into that category when I continue my aging of having like really great skin, like my great aunts. And then, yeah, I think like in the recent years of maybe my mid 30s, early 30s, I think the elders in front of me, like not in my family, but like on social media, on TV, in magazines, like the Botox boom kind of happened around this time, which is basically a lot of folks who are like trying to, you know, practice aging gracefully, I believe, but I also think Botox is something that's been offered to like teenagers as well. So it also creates a dynamic of you don't even want to get close to looking like you have fine lines or wrinkles, because even if you're like a teenager, you can technically go get Botox, which is just like, I don't know. I mean, I will say I tried Botox one time and I said never again. And the reason I said never again, one, because the practitioner kept trying to point out other things that needed work on my face, and I was fine with my face. So I was just like, why do you keep trying to ask me to buy more units when I just literally want this one little thing and I want like the minimal on that? So I didn't really like that. It seemed like the person who was helping me was also trying to make me simultaneously more insecure in order to either help me, even though I didn't ask for the help, but also to increase the bottom line on what it costs to get Botox. So for me, I was turned off from it. And I think, I can't remember, it's somewhere over here where there's like a divot in my face from the Botox, which is just like, okay, all right. So moving on, like, I just know like from seeing a lot of different examples of how people socially and culturally try to attend aging. You get the Botox, you work on your health, you can, you know, do those things. But I just think that I want to see what else is out there. Being that I'm a holistic mental health therapist, and that's kind of been my background and training, I have found it more interesting to like look into the research about like what else do people do, what else works for holistic health, anti-aging. So that's what this kind of the formulation of this channel. So also I think another thing, we talked about slowing down the conversations and thoughts, like where are these thoughts coming from? But the third thing is thinking and behaving differently. If I want to work on anti-aging, I have to think differently than whatever my autopilot is. So I feel like God has helped me in moments to slow down my thoughts and think differently about what it means to have fine lines, what it means to have bags under my eyes, what it means to have wrinkles, because I do have bags under my eyes. I do have like actual marionette lines, and have like a very subtle forehead line, but it's not enough to really disturb anything where I feel like I need to do any treatment on it. I'm just gonna probably let that do its thing. So I guess like learning to accept my face a little bit more for what it looks like now, but just trying to balance acceptance with making sure to look my version of good, if that makes sense. So to me, my version of good as of late has been with minimal makeup. I do like wearing lipstick because I just have always liked wearing lipstick, and I will put on an eyebrow from time to time, but most of the time, most days out of the week, Alexa, stop. Most days out of the week, I will not wear any makeup. I'll just wear a little bit of lipstick, if that, or just chapstick. And I'm actually really happy with my face, which is something that's not like meant to be a brag, but I think for me, I used to wear makeup like a lot, like I would say a lot of makeup, and I would have my hair on my face. I used to have, bangs. I'm growing them out now. But now it's like I'm finding that more often I'm pulling my hair back and just letting my face exist without like trying to have some other feature to like jazz up this area or distract from just what my face looks like. So for me, I'm happy with just trying to accept and appreciate the face God gave me, because this is my face. So I'm working on like being comfortable here, and I think the more that I don't put stuff on my face or like have my hair down and all that, the more I get used to just seeing my face and enjoying what God has blessed me to have as my unique face, featuring my ancestors clearly. So all that to say, I am enjoying I don't know how to say it, but I feel like I'm not hiding. Like no hiding. Like this is just me, and I think it's really nice. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So the next thing I was going to share is just retracing my steps. Asking the question, what do I need to do differently if I'm going to be committing to this? So if I'm going to be committing to my anti-aging practice, then what things do I need to edit? So one thing I've been editing, like all of these are different things that I feel like God has helped me come to, but specifically with the retracing my steps, I realized I can't be eating processed foods. I can't be eating a lot of sugars. I can't be not drinking enough water. I can't be having tons of caffeine either. So like those are some simple things that are good for anti-aging holistically, to try and like retrace my steps, because sometimes being busy, I'm just trying to take a little shortcut, get something that's ready to go. But I really gotta slow down and just meal prep so I can eat clean, which means my body's getting more nutritional value, which means my skin, hair, nails, and body function and metabolism and all those things will be moving and grooving pretty well. So retracing my steps, and also for my hyperpigmentation, I realized that I have to work a new program there as well. and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to share the results later because I have it all organized, but I'll share more about that later. So like just retracing my steps on like how I'm attending a anti-aging or aging gracefully goal to realize what changes have to be done in order for change to exist, because no one can do the same thing over and over again and expect change. That's not how it works. So the next thing that I feel God has really helped me to see is noticing the inspiration that God is actually providing. So like as I speak with God about like how can I age gracefully, what are some things that would be helpful, I feel like one thing he's trying to help me see is to reduce like my time in like consumption or like watching Netflix or watching YouTube videos, because sometimes I watch YouTube videos just to study and like research qualitative like outcomes for different things that I'm curious about. But ultimately, there's examples in real life of women aging gracefully that I see in front of me. There's also articles, there's books, there's techniques, there's keywords or things where I feel like God is kind of driving me towards certain things, sort of like the video I did about the beef tallow balm. That's something that God helped me come to see when I was looking for like improving my skincare regimen. So I feel like he presented me with information that was helpful. So ultimately, another thing is just asking God for his wisdom. So like directly having these conversations with God has been really helpful, because I feel like sometimes in the past I would feel like I couldn't talk to God about these sort of things. Like these are just trivial things. He doesn't want to hear about my anti-aging, like aging gracefully skincare plan. Like I've got to be doing, service conversations about how I can help everyone else and how I can this, that, and the other. So I was minimizing how God is meant to show up in my life to completion. I mean, I'm not going to just be talking to God about my skincare and goals for aging gracefully. I talk to God about all kinds of things. I'm just saying, like, there's no reason for us to hide any part of our desires from God, because God already knows what we were thinking anyway. So why not have that connection and that communication with God as we work through these areas of change in our life, because change is happening anyway. So we can just go to God with, our concerns, with our questions, with our requests for guidance and inspiration, and he will be with us. So I think it's a really important thing that I've realized is I can take the things that I find to be like totally not like the big things, the big ticket items, all of it can be shared with God. And I actually prefer it that way, because I feel like it improved once I realized that's something to do. I feel like it helped improve my relationship to God, and also I feel like I'm still working on that too. It can be a work in progress. Okay, so the last item that I feel God has just so gently been letting me know, and I said this a moment ago, but it's, if I don't like something, change is going to require change. So if I don't like something, do something about it. But you can't do the same thing you've already done a million times, because that is not effective. So what are the things that we're really going to do differently to make long-term change? Because I've done my share of intermittent fasting or juice fasting, or like workout schedules and all of these things. But now I'm just looking at like, what are the long-term changes that I can make to create order and consistency, so that way I'm not kind of yo-yoing in and out of change, and that my change is steady. So I am still kind of meditating on these things with God, working on small implementations, and it's going good. I feel like today is a unique day where coming out of the holidays, so that's still kind of a gray area for me personally. It's like getting through the holidays without eating things that don't fall in align with the plan I have, and treat those days like cheat days. But like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, that's to me a lot of days, a lot of cheat days. So I think it's also because I probably am like tasting things that are like treats. So then I'm eating things like for a couple days in those windows. So like each one of those would have an extra day of just like, well, I made this just to want to test it out first. So like I feel like the holidays kind of threw me off, but I know the big picture and I'm ready for the normalcy of no holidays are coming up that are really going to pull me in that direction. Also, I think like I got together with my friends for like, let's go catch up over dinner. Let's go here for brunch. Let's go do these things. So I feel like there was a lot of snacking going down. Plus like holidays and holiday eves, but this is kind of the gist of it. I'll work on navigating the holidays better from here. But overall, all this to say, the fear of aging, I don't really feel like there's a lot of a fear of aging. I feel like it's an active gift to be able to continue to age gracefully. I think we get to decide how we want to approach aging. We can complain about it, we can fear it, we can expect it to be bad and negative, or we can say that we have some autonomy and we can call on God to like support us as we go into our aging process, to give us guidance and inspiration and help us. And then we may find that the aging process is a positive experience, in fact, because we do get things when we're in the aging process. We're getting wiser, we're getting clear-mindedness, we're becoming more autonomous from our peers. So like when we're teens, we want to be just like our friends. When we're in our 40s and beyond, I don't think we really want to be just like our friends as much, as we come into a place of self-acceptance. So there is no fear of aging. There can be a grace with aging, and there can be some strategy and awareness with it too that allows for aging to be a good experience. Also, low confidence. I feel most of the time more confident. I'm getting back into working out. I think that has something to do with it. But I also think I'm not looking for validation externally in how I present myself as much. So like right now, what I see is what I want to see. So I don't feel like I'm walking out the door to be perceived by others any specific way, because I am enjoying the freedom of just deciding based on the day how I want to present myself, and it being really for me. So that has been great for confidence and peace. And the feeling ugly, I don't think I often feel ugly, and I think that is a feeling that we kind of assign. So like people can look at you and say, I don't know. But I don't really think that's how people end up feeling a certain way, because that means you'd literally have to walk up to people and ask them if they think that you're pretty, right? So the feeling of not feeling pretty or feeling ugly, I think it's just, for me, whenever I feel like that sort of creeping in, is because I'm not getting proper sleep. So I'm looking a little tired and ragged, I think is the way it's said. Feeling tired and ragged and dehydrated and burnt out. That's usually when I feel that edge of like, I don't feel very pretty. It's when I am exhausted and I'm underslept and I am, you know, an anxious or stressed out individual. So that's usually when I feel not so pretty. But I think it also means, you know, the value of self-care. You can't feel beautiful if you don't ever get any rest, if you don't ever drink any water, if you don't ever like take any time to self-care, to take care of yourself, to do your hair, to comb your hair, to put on that face mask, to paint your nails, to do your whatever it is that makes you feel like you're attending yourself. So I feel like God is making it pretty clear, like, you get to pick what this is going to be, but you also can ask for guidance. But on the other side of this, know where these thoughts and emotions come from, and then decide if that's what you want, or do you choose something differently. So all this to say, this is my video about how God is helping me to look and feel younger. And I feel like it's just like God is reminding me of a lot of things that I've learned before, but maybe haven't slowed down to remember as much. So it's been a really good experience, and I hope that this is like helpful. I don't know if I've really talked about how God is infused into my awareness and my thoughts and my processing. So hopefully this made sense. If not, you're welcome to leave questions. And I hope that this video is helpful. Here on the channel, Graceful 40s Wellness, we feature faith, we feature natural anti-aging remedies, and yeah, just beauty. So beauty DIYs and that kind of thing as well. So if you're into that sort of thing, please stick around. Please give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe. And I will look forward to catching you in the next video. I post here weekly and will continue to do so. And I hope that this was something to give you food for thought. All right, bye.